Elegant gameplay, a little repetitive, style and substance. This is A Level With You, Ghost of Tsushima Reflection. I've spent the last 3 weeks immersed in 1274 Tsushima, Japan. Sure, I gave Fall Guys a shot, but this was really the only game my little heart desired. I've read and heard a lot of Ghost of Tsushima critiques since it was released, and wanted to give my thoughts after finally obtaining the Platinum Trophy. Now, as everybody knows by now, Ghost of Tsushima is a gorgeous game. It is a prime example of how the visuals enhance the moment-to-moment gameplay experience. It does so by increasing immersion and creating a sense of wonder in the player as they roam the flowery vistas by horseback, scale the always entertaining obstacle course shrines, or take in the sunset overlooking the sea. Throughout the course of the game, it is clear that making the game as visually appealing as we think of feudal Japan was a priority for Sucker Punch. Some have remarked that the lip syncing is not perfect, a small detail that never took me out of the experience. Everything from the fireflies buzzing in the evening air, to the detailed and vibrant sword kits and armor upgrades, the fog rolling in as you compose a haiku by a lake, the game has a sense of place and atmosphere that other open-world games typically lack. This leads me to the performances from the actors, many of which were excellently portrayed with the emotion and nuance you expect from a AAA PlayStation game. I've been surprised that some folks didn't resonate with the side characters and protagonist Jin. From early on in the story, you're introduced to a likable cast of character with quote-unquote side quests that may as well be mandatory due to their importance in evolving Jin as a character and bringing allies into the fold to complete your ultimate goal of taking back Tsushima Island. As you play through some of the main story's more bombastic and climactic missions, the fact that they are scheming and slaughtering the invaders by your side made me feel like the captain of Ghost Squad. I also have to remark on how I love the evolution of the relationship between your ever-honorable Uncle Shimura and yourself as you make the choices that lead you down the dark road but necessary path to becoming the Ghost. Now, to touch on the open-world exploration aspects of the game. This game has 49 foxes to follow that lead you to statues to bow to. It probably didn't need quite so many, but he's just so adorable you probably won't start to mine until you're in the mid-30s range. There are haikus to compose, little crickets to find that teach you songs on your flute, Mongol artifacts, and other collectibles. Some pretty standard open-world fare. However, the elegant way that the map slowly reveals itself through traversal and completions of locations never made me feel overwhelmed. I usually had 2 or 3 question marks, 3 to 4 side quests I could pursue, or I could get back to the main story if I wanted to get back to that gripping narrative. Some of the strongest quests are Mythic Tales, which feature some clever visual puzzles, epic duels, which are cinematic one-on-one fights where your ghost weapons are thrown out of the equation, and they result in the acquisition of unique armor pieces that all have wondrous flair and detail. The game's combat is another area of contention among critics. Some have found it to be a little too easy, due to its forgiving parry timing window and the myriad of deadly tools you require early on in your adventure. To them, I have some advice. Take 2 seconds and turn the difficulty up. The game's hard mode is a consistent but doable challenge for anyone well-versed in From Software games or seeking a true white-knuckle experience in its most intense moments. If you find that too easy, props to you, but there is a newly patched-in lethal mode that you can give a try. I haven't experienced that yet. I would agree that sometimes the skill tree can feel inconsequential, but as your skills start to add up and you begin experimenting more, larger combat encounters get a playground-like feel to them, allowing for creative ways to dispatch your many, many foes. For myself, grinding for the platinum is something that I decided to do early on in the game's 3rd act. I didn't want the end to be around the corner, and it was quite attainable. There were a few hours where I was mindlessly going from one uncompleted location to the next, checking things off one by one, but I've got podcasts to catch up on, and it was great for that. Not all the side quests are memorable, some are indeed tedious. It's annoying when you're having trouble locating the last couple of enemies to kill or collectible to find in an encampment, but these annoyances were few and far between. The reason I believe this game has been so popular with the general public, it currently has a 9.3 user score on Metacritic, is the balance of the experience it creates. It naturally flows in a way that many people enjoy to play open world games. It's a seamless transition between a gripping, well-acted story to thoughtful exploration with satisfying cosmetic attainment. There's a combat system that is stylish and has depth, but not so much depth that mastery is unattainable. It can be as intense as it can be chill, as gorgeous as it can be brutal, and as thought-provoking as it can be mindless. It's a journey well worth taking, and one of the PS4 exclusives that will be most fondly remembered.